All right, let's just get this out of the way because it's definitely earned the waifu sticker. This is the LA90. Topping LA90, in fact, if I take the topping A90, which is the amp, which has got a new one coming out, which I'm getting. If you want to know about that one, it's coming. This stacks with the A90 and the D90, and you're like, well, Zeos, what the hell is it? Because you're at your review desk for headphones. Well, I'm kind of illegally using it to power headphones, but that's, no, shh. Legality is very, very strange in the audio world. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and it has to take it. So, Double Helix sent me this adapter, which, here it is. It gives you a 4-pin XLR female, and it plugs into the speaker terminals with a spade bits, or spade tips, I should say. And I'm currently running the Dunu Zen Pros, which I've always told you, once I gave them that review, I'm like, these are the stethoscope of the audio world, and so I will judge all amplifiers with them, and I can tell you this amp is everything it's cracked up to be. It's one of the few things, like, everyone's hype about this, and it's a speaker amp. It's like, hey, a speaker amp came out, and it's like, all right, great. No, a topping speaker amp. All right, there's been topping speaker. No, a fully linear Insano speaker. Like, what are we talking about here? And apparently the numbers, because I try to avoid other people's, like, information, their reviews and stuff, but I literally couldn't. LA90 is everywhere. An audio science review, as much as I don't particularly like graphs and numbers, is like, yeah, this thing is so fucking linear that it makes the benchmark HPBA2, the $3,000 speaker amp that I reviewed, it's better linearity than that. For those of you who don't know what linearity means, it means when you give it a flat signal, it poops out at level a flat signal, but bigger. And this does it better than a $3,000 amplifier. Granted, that has more power. And this, we're going to discuss distortion. And this is only the first half of a review, by the way. I'm going to do the review half right now for headphones and apparently IMs right here on the desk. And then tomorrow there'll be the speaker section, which is what it's actually for. But I'm going to bring it over there to the speaker section. So if you're looking for power to power headphones that are maybe a little power hungry, yes. Holy shit, yes. Because I'm going to read you the numbers real quick, because some of them are a little bit like, but you got to understand them. So rated at 5 watts, a lot of these numbers I give you are for this at 5 watts output. And it will do, well, let's see, at 4 ohms in stereo, it'll do 110 watts per channel at 10% distortion. Ignore that. At 8 ohms, stereo, 65 watts a channel, 10% distortion. Ignore that. The numbers you got to concern yourself with are 1% distortion and below. So 90 watts into 4 ohm load, 50 watts into an 8 ohm load. That's more normal. 50 watts into an 8 ohm load is actually exactly what the Emotiva Bass X right there does. The thing is, that's a class A, B, and this is not. That's why the distortion ramps up at the top. So now, what are you talking about with headphones, Zeos, and why are we talking about this with headphones if we've got 10% distortion? You see, that's only if you push it past the 50 watts at 8 ohms to 65. It's because down here, from 0 watts to 50 is a slowly raising distortion bar. And at 5 watts a channel, which I think most headphones will be fine with, 0.00009% distortion at either 4 or 8 ohms, or if you go up into, like, they're not measuring it up into like the 50 ohm range or the 200 ohm range, but that's dumb. This is clean is the word. It's like squeaky clean. It's so clean if it was a window, it practically wouldn't even exist. By the way, if you're interested in buying something like a speaker amp and you want to run headphones on it, you don't have to go to Double Helix and buy one of their probably very expensive cables, because I made one. In fact, I made one, and on the second channel, if you don't know I have a second channel, I show you step by step, painstakingly making mistakes and how to build this. So head over, I'll link to the second channel video where you can get this unit here, which I have to fix the glue in there. You can get this unit here, which is just, you know, here, look, ready? This goes clink. You You can get this unit here, 2-pack for like 12 bucks. And this is a mica speaker cable. And I just found a braiding tutorial, did a little bit of soldering, and then you just use the original ends. You don't have to put these on. And a little bit of heat shrink, and for like, I don't know, $25, you could build one of these that plugs into any amplifier, any speaker amplifier to run headphones. But since I got a double helix and it's hooked up already, that's what I'm going to use. So let's go into now, what the fuck, Zeos? What is this and why are you talking about it? So this doesn't get a diamond, whereas the benchmark got three diamonds, 3 gemstones is $3,000. This is $810 on APOS. Here it is, APOS. $809.10. I don't understand that pricing, but it's $809 and exactly 10 cents. Fine. Tour of the unit. Zeos timestamps. Don't forget to check out the timestamps. Front of unit. On, off, and input select button. Button, digital button. We have in 1, in 2, and in 3, and in 1. You hold it down. That light goes off. There's no other power indicator except for the input. It goes click. I have it on kilowatt. Here is the power brick for it, because it doesn't get plugged 110 directly into it. It is 64 volts, 4 amps. This almost needs its own waifu sticker. I was considering it because it's almost the same size as the unit. So you get quite a brick. And when the unit's off and the brick is in here with the green LED glowing, it's using around 1 to 0.9 to 1.3 watts. It's just sitting there, you know, being itself. And then you turn it on, click, big relay goes click to throw the power into that for 64 fucking volts. We're running about 19.9 to 22 volts. Watts into this. Let's look at that's it for the front. You got this volume knob that is like exactly as chonky as a dedicated power amp, because that's what this is. This doesn't have any digital, we'll show the back, but this is just turn on, 3 inputs, volume knob, the end. It's got this little indicator there. It's a decent indicator. It's not the greatest indicator, but a decent indicator. It's big and smooth. It has this part where your fingertips touch, so you're not scraping against the fascia. It's just, it coddles you. It makes you want to turn it. The interesting design concepts are bottom massive vent gaps, side radiator plus vent. You can see a little bit through there. So that's an opening to the inside of the unit, plus all these radiator slots on both sides. Top has a perfect spot for a waifu sticker. Link to waifu stickers in the description. We flip this thing over, you can see we have got 3 sets of XLR inputs for balance. I'm currently feeding this off of Zeos. Link the Aries 2 R2R DAC. That's on the floor, feeding these up here. You can put up to 3 sources, and you can get the 1/4-inch adapters to run either TS or TRS in here. So if you want to use RCA, you can have to buy an adapter and pop it in there. Here are your binding posts for output. And they're just pretty much the same as on even most Emotiva amps. Like, these are just nice 5-way binding posts. I've got these spade connectors just sort of plugged in there. Boom. Tighten them down. Here's your power connector for the thing. It is a screw-in type. Unplug this for a second. It has 3 pins instead of 2. That's why it has to be weird, because it's running, is this DC or AC actually? It doesn't say. Input, output. Doesn't say if it says AC to DC, so I'm assuming it's DC. So it's doing the DC conversion externally, which means if you're a crazy audiophile bastard, you could probably get an upgraded power plug for this, even though I'm pretty sure that's a large chunk of the cost. Put that in. Then you get a firmware update USB-C, a 12-volt trigger in, which if you don't know what trigger in on professional audio equipment, when you turn one thing on, it outputs a low voltage signal of 5 volt or 12 volt that you can hook up a 3.5 millimeter mono, and that thing turning on will then click over here and turn this thing on, they'll then click over there and turn that thing on. Works great when you need it. And when you have a power amp like this, so you don't want to keep turning 9 units on and off, if your source can do that, then you could do that. So you could actually set this up with just a 12 volt transformer and a plug, and then cut and put a 3.5 in there, just feed this 12 volt through a 3.5 mono, and if you could have a CASA switch, turn it on and off, or a smart power strip, turn it on and off. Next to that is 3 little baby switches back here, and they're interesting, because now we've got this far right one is high-low gain. And I could tell you that with the noise floor, let's talk noise floor for a second, Zeos timestamp noise floor. Dunu Zen Pros, the ones with the Zeos label on them, the most sensitive IMs I have, plugged into this, play music. I could hear there's a slight volume imbalance at, like, if that's where the volume is, slight volume imbalance, then it's perfect. Then I'm playing it too loud. So powerful amplifier, but if I pause the music and turn the volume knob all the way up on low gain, at the very last few degrees of the rotation, I get the sense that maybe there's noise. Anything below the very, very top of the knob on low gain, through the most sensitive IMs I have on a fully outputting DAC, is nothingness. Fucking nothingness. And then I go and put it on high gain and do that same test, and the first to 12 noon is no noise at all. Nothing. No fucking sound through the most sensitive IMs I have. And then when you get past 12 noon, it's like, I think I hear something. And then those last same few degrees, like on low, and you actually hear like, very low, very, very, very low, considering that that is now full equivalent to what could be 110 watts. So silence is golden, then this is a motherfucking goose. Because here's the thing, yes, I heard noise at the very top on high. Should I have unpaused the music and it would have started playing through these IEMs on high? I'd have to quit my job because it would have blown the fuck out of anything I had plugged into it. Argons, I've got the Anandas here, and I've got these guys here, the SJ, yes, I got SYJs here, SJYs, which are also like really low ohm and need a lot of impedance. So high-low gain switch. The noise floor. All right, high-low gain switch. We did the noise floor. We're done. Argons, high gain. SJYs, high gain. Anandas, low gain. A couple other headphones, basically all low gain. I picked out like some really hard ones to drive because I didn't want to do everything. But it turns out with the IEMs, this will power anything. And if you had a controllable source, if you're using a D90, and you lowered the volume down, 10, 15, 16 decibels, and it gives you a little more freedom to not worry about blowing shit up, every headphone will work on this, and it would be as clean as you've ever... This is the A90 on crack. And when I get the new A90, which I forget the name of it, it's got that, the Desperado, or what the hell... The Discreet. When the A90 Discreet shows up, if it has even the slightest flavor of this fucking monster, it's going to be one of the better headphone amps that you can fucking buy. Hopefully cheaper than this. Because this is still a little bit pricey at $809.10. But let's talk now about the other two switches. Because high-low is one switch. Some headphones respond better on high gain, and you only get to use them up to about there. Argons go from not playing to playing pretty well at high gain, about that level, where there's, it goes all the way around. The next switch over, stereo or mono. You see, this unit also comes with this little bridge, because you can bridge mono this. If you don't know what bridge monoing is, it's when you have not just one of these $800 amplifiers. I wish I could pull one out from the floor and be like, APO sent me two. They didn't. But you could have two of these, a right channel dedicated amplifier and a left channel dedicated amplifier, which, by the way, if you built the cable that I showed you, you could have monoblocked individual volume. That's dumb. And then the power outputs, hold on, wait. We got to scroll down to the mono output. So mono output of this box into 8 ohms, 1% distortion, 180 watts per box. If you're willing to go up to 10% distortion, which you shouldn't be, but the thing about distortion is it happens with power draw. So if you're playing shit loud and it's only getting to like 150 watts sustained, which by the way would kill most people with most speakers, you're never getting above 1% distortion. And then if it peaks, oh my God, 205, it's going somewhere between 1 and 5% distortion for a split second. And you'll never hear it. That's why they can share that, and I still can be excited about it. Because you're never going to run this thing so hard and so fast with any music that played so much fucking volume that you'll ever be near that 10% distortion. And if you're talking about 180 watts with a single box with this sort of cleanliness, like you can't monoblock the benchmarks because it'll cost you $6,000. So you can do it, but it's going to have to be like, do I want to use Honda Civic or do I want two monoblock ABH PP22s that are $3,000 a piece? That's your options. With this, you fucking can. For $1,600, if you have, I bet you, fucking bet you, there's going to be rooms at the next speaker event, which it won't be RMAF, obviously. Maybe it'll be ZMAF. Who knows? Support this channel. But I bet you at the next event, someone will be running monoblocked fucking LA90s, which LA90, Escape from LA is not a great movie, but it's memorable. And all the Naked Guns take place in LA, so LA can't be that bad. Okay, minimize this. Back to wallpapers. And with specs are giving me like nipple chafing, speaking of. So that's literally, you put this adapter that it comes with in, and then you change from these ports to these two ports are now the full stereo, just one speaker into that and you're done. And then that's it. You got a fucking monoblock. You get to monoblock this monster. The last switch is a volume bypass. So if you're using the volume control on the front on a desk for headphones or on a desk for speakers, don't bypass the volume. If you're going to use it in a monoblock setup and you're using a DAC with a remote control or an expensive vintage preamp to control things, then you could switch it to bypass. This volume knob in the front won't do anything, and you'll be able to control the volume externally. I'm probably going to try that over at the speaker area. I don't want to do it here where things might explode. By the way, this speaker stand sent to me by Klaus, who has an Etsy store, which I have to find the address for. And these are basically just resin molds. I'm going to give us a little quick bump. Yeah. This is not the English site. It is not from America. This is from a place far, far away. And he has all sorts of custom pours. Every one of them is different. And every one of them is freaking beautiful. And I have no idea what that number is. It's 1.095,00. That's not American dollar dues. But I will link to the Etsy shop when I get it. Look at that one. It's like orange soda. It's like if orange soda was a headphone stand. And I asked for the pearl one because I'm like, that is just... Because there's depth to this. It kind of looks like if someone took a really fancy bowling ball and somehow flattened it and stretched it out, let you put your headphones on it. So, there you go, Klaus. Thank you for sending that out. I'll have to use that. I have usually the good headphone stands up on my desk in my actual office. So it's down here for now. So I guess, what do we have to talk about? The bypass switch, you got to be careful. Like if I'm doing headphone stuff, I reach back here. There's 3 switches. First switch, high-low gain. You got to be kind of concerned about it. Second switch, mono, which you probably shouldn't switch if you're not set up for mono. And the third switch, bypass the volume control, which will kill you. So you might want to get some tape or some gray putty or blue tack and cover that bypass fucking switch and the mono switch, because you don't need to deal with those. With headphones, I find bouncing between high and low gain, it's kind of a thing you want to do. Do I wish it was on the front? Not really, because this thing is pretty fucking svelte and sexy all on its own. Listening, this is why I'm breaking into 2 days. Listening tests with this. So let's put this on high gain. The other 2 are down. Double checking that the other 2 are down and only the far left one is up. Let's change to Epic Score Legion. No. South Park Chef. What hell child is that? What? Is that a song? What the hell child is this? By Chef. Oh, I probably should turn it back on. Oh, did I unplug it? What happened? Everything's gone to shit. Hello, hi. We're plugged in. Oh, there it goes. It was off. Turns out things can turn off when I'm just... Don't do that to them. So argons need power. And I talk to Ryan at Models all the time, and I'm like, hey, what are you powering your argons with? Because he's a small enough shop, and he doesn't charge enough for these headphones, so he doesn't have a lot of cash floating around. But every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, you need a speaker amp. Get a speaker amp. I don't think he's powered him with a speaker amp. You need a speaker amp, and guess what? Here's your speaker amp, because this on high gain. Low gain was a little bit like, it's a little bit too linear for me. Low high gain gets a little more fucking power into it. All of a sudden, T60 argons are like, oh, that's their maximum. It sounds like they do on the benchmark amp for $800. And frankly, this looks better and has a nice control of the front. This is nice. 3 inputs. The bass hits are so fast. Band of Heroes. Oh, then there's light and airy and like bells and sparkly things. And it's like, oh, that's what ultimate potential sounds like. Because that's literally what we're talking about here. I'm going to switch back to, I have the Anandas on the new harmonic line cable because it's such a nice cable. I'm going to use it for fucking everything. Back to low gain, which at least is easy enough to give it the reach around. Some things are real hard to give the reach around. You know, this is easily one of the best headphone amps I've ever listened to. Does it have any other options and features? No. Do I think it's going to compete with the Burson GT? Well, we'll find out. It's sitting over there. Haven't hooked it up yet. The Burson Soloist 3X Grand Tourer is sitting over there. That's a $2,500 amplifier. But Burson's had a little more things going for it. It's got a remote control, it's got different inputs. That one's not the DAC version. Different op amps. This is a straight competitor with linear amps, which is the king of linear amps, is the A90. So the second thing it's competing with is a benchmark speaker amp that costs $3,000, and it's doing astonishingly well. Do you not have enough volume in your life? Fucking solved. That's it. It's the most linear, cleanest, loudest headphone amplifier you can buy, and it's not even a headphone amplifier. You got to either buy or build a cable to make it a headphone amplifier. Topping should have seen this coming and just put it output right in the front. Boom. Big caution tape. Like one of those things you pull off a missile. That's like, hey, warning, plugging your headphones into this and being an idiot, you are going to die. Okay, fine. I'll pull that tape any day of the week. And I'll be that idiot. So, this is day one. I'm not saying, if you're interested in headphones, this is basically the end game for power in headphones right now. Right now. I'll get to the Burson. No, you're going to ask. We'll get to it. But like Emotiva is an astonishingly good amplifier for $250. I forget what it is, $270. You plug a headphone into it. It's amazing. But it ain't this. This is like the jump to the A90 from everything else on the earth. So you're paying for it. It's more than 3 times the price of like the Emotiva A2 Mini. But holy shit, this is going in the rack, and it's never coming out. Speaking of racks, we're going to end this review because I'm going to bring this to the other side of the basement. We're going to hook it up to a couple pairs of speakers. I'll hook it up to a couple pairs of speakers, and you'll watch it with one pair of speakers because I'm not going to do that whole shit. But we're going to get this thing tested on speakers because I haven't done that yet. And then I'll tell you how that is tomorrow or the day after, probably tomorrow. I think I want to do like half reviews. Until then, check out Patreon, subscribe, support this channel. If you're interested in a headphone amp, this is the one. And the fact that it does like IEMs and still sounds clean is amazing. Patreon, subscribe, see reviews early, participate in yard sales, listen to lossless sound demos, and for $10 a month, you get into a private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat with an attached lifetime swap meet channel. Check out hi-fi guides, check out the forums, wallpapers. For this review and the next one, all the previous ones, you can get into Wallpaper Horde, which is a Resilio sync thing, which again, second channel, where I built that cable. You can see that, and you can also see what the Resilio Horde sync is all about, and get every wallpaper I ever use, and when I change them, immediately you get the download of it. So that's I have to do it, YouTube things. Yeah, we're done here. I'm going now. I will move this now over there, where I'll be probably astonished at it, but I'm going to push it real fucking hard, and we'll see if we can detect any of that 10% distortion. I doubt it. You doubt it? I doubt it. But bravo, Topping. You've done some shit right here.